Well, hello, my name is Kathy, and I'm here with Bert Tycer. And Bert has a little story he'd like to share with all of us. So, Bert, could you please give us a brief history of your medical condition? Because that's what has changed, and we want to hear the before and after. So, please tell us a little bit about your history, how old you were when things started, and what actually happened.
Okay, I was 41 when I had my first quadruple bypass operation.
Wow.
In 1983, and of course I'd had problems before that, but nobody was able to nail it down for a few years. So anyhow, that lasted about, I went back to work afterwards, construction work. And that lasted about 21 years. And at the time, they were said that 7 years was very good. If you lasted 7 years in 1983.
You mean if you lived 7 years,
Yeah.
or if you lasted 7 years after a bypass where they had to redo it?
No. In other words, they figured that either you'd die or they'd do another bypass.
Wow.
One or the other.
So you had, okay,
So
7-year fix after quadruple.
7 was optimal, according to the...
Wow.
According to... So anyhow, this one lasted... I had a good surgeon, and so it lasted about 21 years. And I think also continuing physical exercise, I think helped out a lot. Working heavy construction work.
Okay.
And so then...
Now, well, let's see. Were you on medications, or you just had the bypass surgery at 41?
Actually, I wasn't on medications.
Okay, so you were not on medications then. So then you said it lasted 41 years, so that would take you to what?
21.
Or 21 years.
Yeah, right.
So that would take you to about 62 years old. So what happened around then?
Okay, about 2001 or 2, something like that. I had a stent put in.
Okay, stent.
And then it was 2003, I believe, that I had a 6 bypass operation. Now, after the stent and the bypass operation, I tried various statins, blood pressure medications, blood thinners, one thing and another, and I couldn't handle them, couldn't stomach them. They made me sick.
Mm-hmm.
So I had a running dialogue with my cardiologist about it, and he was not real happy with it. So anyhow, 2003, I had another bypass operation.
So that was a
bypass.
A 6 bypass.
Yeah,
okay.
and I worked another 2 years construction after that one.
Wow.
And it's amazing the difference. It's like feel like a new man when you have either a stent or a bypass.
Yeah.
It's just like a breath of fresh air. You know, you feel great. So.
And how long did it last?
It helps when your blood's pumping.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. You get some oxygen in your system. Yes.
Yeah. So anyhow,
okay.
Then in 2008, I had a stent put in, and that's been a little more than 3 years ago. And about, I don't know, what was it, about 9 months or a year or so I met you? Was it something like that?
Yeah, about 9 months ago, I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
About 9 months ago.
That could have been, no, it was over a year. Yeah, over a year, all right.
Anyway, 9 months to a year, something like that. Actually, yeah, because it was 3 months I was going there prior to your suggesting that book.
Okay.
So anyhow.
So how were you feeling when you and I met? This would be, what, 3 years after your second stint?
Right.
So how were you feeling? Were you still on your medications?
Yeah, I was on medications,
Okay.
on and off, because I'd try one statin and try another, and my cardiologist worked with me.
Okay.
Tried different things, and especially after the stents, they wanted to put me on a blood thinner, and that just killed me. I forget the name of it, but there's no way I just had to stop it, period. It was causing too much stomach upset.
Too much stomach, okay.
And there's no sense in dying from that. So anyhow, I went to the chiropractor's office, and you were there, and you recommended it after
Prevent
a
and
few times.
yeah, recommended Prevent and Reverse Heart Disease by Caldwell Esselstyn.
Right.
Right. And you thought it was a little crazy and nutty?
Well, no, not initially. I didn't think that was nutty until I read the book.
Mm.
I went and bought a new book, bought it, read through, and I laughed. I just flat laughed. I said, "There's no way in hell I can do this," because I've never, I cut down on meat. I cut down on everything. Had lean meat, had chicken, stuff like that. But to go completely off of it, and also oils. I loved olive oil.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought, Jesus.
Give up dairy, animal products, oils.
Yeah, everything.
That's tough.
Yeah, right. Yeah. So, anyhow, all this time I've been. You can feel when your heart's not starting to get a little worse, and it's like when you walk up a set of stairs, and then you got to stop for a minute, or you do this or you do that, or you make a little jog, and then you got to stop.
Mm-hmm.
And so when I made the decision, I walked up the stairs after reading the book. A couple of weeks later, I walked up the stairs and I had that feeling in my chest.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought to myself, you're really stupid. This is stupid. If you can't take the medicines, and you're starting to get worse, and there's bound to be another procedure, and if you can't go through that, what the book says, Esselstyn, what he suggested, then you're being stupid, obstinate.
Is that a common trait with you?
I'm pretty good at. My whole family's more expert.
So how long did Caldwell Esselstyn say to at least try the diet? Did he say, give it a shot?
Okay, that was the thing too. Is he said if you will go on this diet for 2 weeks.
2 weeks. He said just try it 2 weeks.
2 weeks, you will notice a difference. So I tied that in with my natural reluctance to do it. I figured, well, you can do any damn thing in 2 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
And so I did it, and I'll be damned for 2 weeks. I felt better. I had more energy, and I've been on it now about 9 months.
And tell us the changes, because you're still on it. That means you like it. So what changes have you noticed? Are you taking any more medication?
I'd like a steak, but I'm not going to have one. But, you get used to it.
Uh-huh.
You're always just a little bit hungry.
Mm-hmm.
But my energy levels are great. But the other side of it is my alertness is great, better.
Mm-hmm.
And my wife says that I make more sense. So, okay.
That's a big compliment coming from a woman. You make more sense. I do remember when you tried the diet for a while, and you came and you told me, you said, I'm more alert. My thoughts are clearer.
Mm-hmm.
You said, I feel better. I have a lot more energy. I can do so much more.
Right.
And one thing I've noticed, Bert, is your coloring in your face.
Mm-hmm.
Your skin is so much nicer.
Mm-hmm.
There's a better blood flow since your arteries are cleaning out.
Now,
So
some of that is also due to niacin. I take niacin.
You're taking
I know
niacin, too.
Niacin helps with blood flow and
Okay.
peripheral blood flow.
Okay.
And I'm taking non-flesh niacin.
The
And
non.
I'm trying to get.
Okay.
I'm trying to get away from it. Just get down to natural
Mm-hmm.
products, and niacin is a fairly natural product.
Okay.
I think so.
So what are you off all medications now?
Yeah. I still have some medication I take for my back. Which I go to the chiropractor.
Oh, for your back, but anything for your heart, like any more statins? What
No, I
about
stopped
your
statins.
blood thinners?
Stopped all that.
No blood pressure medication.
No, I think. That's the other thing is I think you're better off just eating broccoli instead of taking aspirin myself. Now,
Yeah.
the pharmaceutical people are going to tell you that there's something in aspirin that's extra special, but probably not much more than what's in broccoli. A person. I really am getting into food, and your Kathy, your I don't know what it's called, encouragement,
Yeah.
which is what you're good at, has been a very good motivating factor.
Well, I'm glad to hear that.
Mhm.
But I'm also thrilled. I remember you saying that I was just getting ready to die. And your wife, Jane, told me the same thing. She said, I have not seen Bert look or feel as good in years.
Yeah, I forgot to bring that up.
Yeah.
See, ever since 1981 or 83, actually prior to 83 when I had my bypass operation, I knew I was on my way out.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know why I was on my way out, but I knew I was on my way out.
Well, they did give you 7 years, you know. That would
Yeah, but
scare
even
me.
prior to that, prior to them finding out what was wrong with me,
Oh.
I knew I was dying, but I didn't know from what. I thought it might be cancer or something.
Hmm.
But when they finally found out what it was, then after that, I figured, well, he said 7 years. Well, that's not bad.
Oh, gosh,
But
at
in
41.
reality, well, I had 2 kids and a wife, you know, so
Oh.
I worried about that, you know. But
Yes.
from that point on, I lived actually not much more than, say, day by day, week by week, month by month. Just did not plan. I didn't do any planning ahead for
Mm-hmm.
anything because it seemed kind of useless.
I see.
And this went on. Became a lifestyle for me. And in fact, I'm just now getting rid of it, I think. And I'm thinking
You have a
now
future?
I might croak tomorrow. However, at least my attitude is that, hey, you know, there quite probably could be a lot of tomorrows. You know,
So you can make plans ahead of time now. You have that hope that you can plan a
it's just-
vacation
it's a
or that
matter of
you might
do
see
it.
grandchildren.
You know,
And
if you live normally, you just do that automatically.
mm-hmm.
Automatically, you say, well, I'm going to go to Hawaii in a year from now.
Right.
Okay. For about 40 years, oh yeah, that's the other thing, is that during that time, I also didn't know how I was going to feel. In other words, if you plan ahead that you're going to take a trip,
Right.
you don't know if you're going to feel like taking a trip 2 days from now. So
Yeah.
it was kind of a spontaneous thing where I would, if I felt like doing it, I'd do it. But there was no plan and no span of time.
Right.
Ahead, other than just what I got up in the morning, I knew how I feel. You know, I
Right.
knew if if my heart was working right.
Right.
And anybody that's had that kind of life understands what I'm talking about. So anyhow, this vegetarian diet, strict. I eat fish every so often. You know, that's about it. And I'll have a beer occasionally and have some wine occasionally.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. Hell, I might make another 20 years.
I sure hope so, Bert. Well, I hope that your story is a great inspiration to other people. You've inspired me. I'll tell you that. And
Yeah.
I'm glad that both you and Jane feel that there's a little more hope in the future for the both of you.
Yeah.
So, yes.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah,
thank you,
so.
Bert, so much for sharing with us.
It's all right, Kathy. I think you're doing one hell of a job.
Well, thank you, sir.
And I'd just like to see you continue.
Thank you, Bert.